Hello there. What is going on, everybody? It is after Gen Con 2019. I am home and I am exhausted, but I wanted to come to you guys with a live stream. I wanted to chat with you guys a little bit. And boy, I gotta start off by just saying that I am totally beat. It was a great Gen Con, but uh, definitely better than last year, at least for me and from my perspective. Um, I was very very tired, and got a lot of good things done, and I think that's really important. So, um, trying to get the chat and everything set up, and I will be able to we're kind of gonna kind of kick into it today. I normally don't live stream from out in the garage, but it's a little earlier right now, and kids are all going crazy. What is Gen Con? What is Gen Con? All right, give me a minute, guys, because that is wild. So, were you part of the game tester? I don't even know what that question is. So basically, I'm back from Gen Con. Gen Con is the biggest board game and RPG convention in the entire all of North America, I believe. And I got my coffee here because I need to stay up. I got a lot of stuff to do. I got a lot of minis to try to assemble. Got a lot of got this thing, Legion core set. So I want to start about telling you guys about like how cool this Gen Con was, because there's a lot of really cool things. So I'm going to start off with a nightmare story. It's a fun one. The most important thing, I think, from my perspective, considering that I cover a lot of games, but the biggest thing that I cover is fantasy flight games, right? I cover the Star Wars games, X-Wing, Armada, Legion, and even their board games, Rebellion, Outer Rim, that sort of stuff. That's definitely the bulk of what I cover. And I noticed that over time, like the biggest thing of the year is the in-flight report. So when I was going this year, I had booked my flight very, very early Wednesday morning. Like I got up at 2 a.m. to get to the airport. And basically, as I boarded the plane, I was very tired and I barely slept that night. And I'm like, that's okay, because it was gonna put me in at like 9 a.m. Last year, when I was there, I barely made it to the in-flight report, and I was stressing out because of it. So I wanted to get in early, check into the hotel, drop my stuff, make sure I got everything charged, get in line early, get a good seat, set up, remember to bring things like tripods and slightly better recording supplies this year so I could bring to you better quality content. And that is also has a lot to do with my patrons who've definitely helped me as far as being able to get better equipment, better supplies, and get earlier flights and things like that. So big thanks to patrons. We actually picked up quite a few new patrons as well. So big thanks to you guys. And we got some new cool rewards. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. I don't have them. I didn't bring them out. We got some new Legion promos that are going to be going up on Patreon, and some will also be going up for regular giveaways as well. So we're going to be spreading that out. But so I sat on the plane getting ready to go, and there was, I guess, a check engine light on the plane that wouldn't go out. They knew the engine was good, but the light was stuck in the on position, and like FAA regulations, they couldn't take off, right? Because the light was on, and the light had to go off. They were calling, trying to fix it. We're sitting there, and I'm like, boy, if this plane is much later, I'm not going to make my connecting flight, you know. So it turns out we had to go back. They had to completely replace the whole part and then rewire it to the engines. We sat on the plane for like 3 hours, and then everybody basically missed their connecting flights. And so I was looking for another flight to get to Indianapolis, and everything was arriving at about 7 p.m. That was gonna make me miss the in-flight report, and it was taking me all the way across the country to like Detroit and then back down to, because I'm flying from Orlando, Florida. And I found one that was gonna go to Detroit and then Indianapolis that was only gonna put me in at 3 p.m., which should have been close enough for me to get checked into the hotel and then get in line and get my stuff. And they had upgraded me to business class. So I was like, okay, well, that's nice. I'll have a nice comfy seat. So I booked that on the app on my phone, and I'm sitting there. I go over to that terminal. I'm sitting there waiting and waiting because I had like a 3 hour layover, and I'm waiting. And all of a sudden I notice my boarding pass disappeared. And I go up to the gate and I'm like, "What happened? My boarding pass disappeared." He's like, "Oh, just use the old one. Just use your old boarding pass." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "That doesn't sound right." And then my old boarding pass disappears, and I'm like, "All my boarding passes are gone. Well, what happened?" He's like, "Oh, did you book a new flight?" And no, I didn't. Turns out there's another flight leaving, and it leaves in like 3 minutes. And it's all the way in a different terminal. So if you've ever been to Atlanta, the airport is huge and they have all these different terminals. So I had to run, been up since to get on this plane. I was afraid I was going to totally not make the in-flight report, which was the whole point of me booking this giant, early arrival. And, so that was good. So I was working for FFG this year, helped punch out, chatted with some people, got to talk to a lot of folks. And that was definitely one of the high points. Made the in-flight report. Was a little, that was really about that. And then I noticed like a lot of people were getting escorted into the in-flight report, and freaking in love with all of your games to actually get a good seat and be able to cover this footage. I don't know. I am going to change over. I'm going to try and I will continue the story and we will keep going. All right. Thanks.